Bohemians, Indie Bohemians, Indie Bohemians Morning Show. Indie Bohemians, Indie Bohemians, Indie Bohemians Morning Show. Paulina and Ron are telling you the truth. News, politics, music, culture, sports, and comedy. A little more all coming at you. Indie Bohemians, Indie Bohemians, the Indie Bohemians Morning Show. Indie Bohemians, Indie Bohemians, the Indie Bohemians Morning Show. Indie Bohemians, Indie Bohemians, the Indie Bohemians Morning Show. Indie Bohemians, Indie Bohemians, the Indie Bohemians Morning Show. With Paulina, Combow, and Ron Placone.
This is Paulina Combow, and I talked to Brody Dolyniuk, who's the vocalist for A Night with Led Zeppelin, and he's going to be performing with the Nashville Symphony and a full rock band at the Schermerhorn this week, June 2nd and 3rd, so check him out.
So let's see, you're going to be performing at Nashville Symphony, or with the Nashville Symphony at the Schermerhorn, June 2nd and 3rd. That's next Tuesday and Wednesday. Both shows at 7:30. They sold out really fast last time, right? And the music is the music of Led Zeppelin. So tell me about the show.
Well, I've been lucky enough to be a part of this group since 2009. I joined them when they were looking for somebody to sing on their Queen show, the music of Queen. Winborn Music has been doing symphonic rock shows now since 1995, and the Zeppelin show was their first one, and they've just continually grown and become more successful and added more and more shows to their catalog. So I joined in 2009 on the Queen show, and then we added a Who show and a Rolling Stones show and a U2 show, and as it turns out, I'm going to be jumping in on the Led Zeppelin show because they actually have a second Led Zeppelin show booked up in Canada, and so Randy, the main singer, is going up there, and I'm stepping in on this one, which I've done in the past. And I love singing Led Zeppelin stuff, and basically, it's just a wonderful marriage of classic rock with classical music, and so it's always interesting to see sort of two different worlds kind of come together on one stage, and it makes for a very exciting product.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I watched a couple of your YouTube videos, and I saw some of the Queen ones, so that's amazing. And I mean,
oh yeah.
So I mean, do you have a lot of pressure on you to sing like songs by like Freddie Mercury and all these legends that have really intense vocals?
Yeah, no pressure or anything. Yeah, just jump up there and sing like the greatest male vocalist of all time. Yeah, no pressure. No, it's a lot of fun for me. This stuff is kind of what I grew up with and kind of cut my teeth on, so it's sort of in my blood, I think. And I'm not trying to become those people. I'm not trying to emulate Freddie Mercury or Robert Plant or any of these guys. I'm just trying to present the music the best I can as a fan, and try to sing it as good as I possibly can, and give the fans the style or the taste of what they're familiar with, but at the same time I'm trying to be me up there,
Mhm. Yeah, and I think this show definitely appeals to a lot of people. Obviously Led Zeppelin fans, but then also classical music fans. Like I was seeing some of your videos, it's a rock show. It's with classical music behind it, but you're also getting the audience pumped up and everything, and getting them to join in. So that sounds really fun to me.
Yeah, it's definitely for the avid classical symphony goer a different experience and a different vibe, and it's also a different experience for the rock concert goer. It's not a true traditional rock concert in the same sense of the word. So it's definitely a hybrid kind of a thing. It's a little louder and edgier than a traditional symphony show, and it's not as wild and raucous as a rock concert from 1985 or anything. So
no crowd surfing.
No, not so much. No. I tried that once and kind of busted my leg doing that. But no, I'm just kidding. No, not too wild and crazy, but I'd call it a classy presentation of rock and roll music. How's that?
Oh yeah, breaking it down to show that these songs are classics for a reason. So
They really are.
Where are you based now? Where do you live now?
I live in Southern California, Orange County.
Oh, in Orange County. Very nice. Because you did the Vegas thing for a while, right, with your band Yellow Brick Road?
That's right, yeah. No, I was there I was in Vegas for over 20 years, and I performed with that band for 14 of those years. Kind of a collection of things, when I started doing the symphony shows, I guess you could say I started having one foot out the door, and then the time just came where I felt like I'd run my course in Vegas, and there were other opportunities waiting for me, so it was the right time for me to say goodbye and do a new thing. So now I'm traveling a lot more, which, careful what you wish for, I guess. Because
all over the world.
I went from, kind of playing in the same place for a long, long time to now kind of playing everywhere. There's a lot of travel involved. But,
right.
It's all good.
I mean, I guess that's kind of one of the good and bad things about Vegas is that people come there to see you. So when you're touring, you go there to see the people.
Yep. Now we're taking the show out to them. So, it's great for me because, like I say, I was lucky and I got to cultivate a large kind of a following in Vegas, and that was great for a number of years. And now it's nice to go out and see new faces and play to new places. So
different arenas. Do you have a favorite place that you've been?
Of the places that we've played, there's something great about all of them. I mean, I love being in Nashville, just a real music mecca. And, while we were there, we went out and saw some great entertainment and saw some great bands. And Little Richard was in the hotel we were staying. And it was just, kind of like, wow, there's so much music happening here at any moment. To be a part of that was really nice. But I mean, it's great when we're up in the rainy parts and we're up in New York and we're in Florida and, just all over. You get to experience different cultures and different people, and it's great.
Well, I imagine, too, that you're singing such classic songs like Queen and U2 and Rolling Stones, too, that it translates internationally as well, right? I mean,
we haven't done too many international shows. At least I haven't yet. We've been to Canada, and we're getting ready to go to Malaysia here in next month, I believe it is, or maybe it's August.
Yeah, I was about to say,
that'll be my first.
Yeah, you could do Asian countries, and they'd be all about it.
Oh, no question about it. It's just a matter of, cost and logistics at this point, I think. But there'd be no reason not to go over there and do some shows, and I think they'd go over well. But the company has been to Malaysia before with the other shows that I've not been on, and it's gone over great. And so we're coming back with the Queen show in August. So that'll be my first sort of overseas experience with the show.
Awesome. Very cool. I'm sure it'll go great.
I hope so.
So do you ever do kind of like a mixture of shows, or is it normally one band that you focus on?
The Wingborne has always been one catalog per show kind of a thing. I've done my own shows in the past where I've done mixtures of things. And I have a thing that I do occasionally called Symphonic Rock Show where I go back to Vegas and kind of reform a band and then use local musicians for the strings and horns. And we do a variety of things, and I've even done an all 80s show recently. So, I'm expanding my catalog and doing as much music as I can these days.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a favorite song or a favorite vocalist that you like to sing?
It'd be tough for me to say one because I really do. I think that's what I enjoy the most is the variety of things. And people who know me kind of know me because I'm able to kind of emulate a bunch of different singers. It's been something I've done since I was a kid, was kind of match voices and do impressions and things. And so I think I would get bored doing any one thing, even though, Robert Plant and Freddie and all these guys are really my heroes. I think I would get bored doing any one of them for too long. So what's great about this is I get to do them all, at different times. So it's great doing the Zepp show one week, and then the next week it's Queen or it's the Rolling Stones. And, I really enjoy the challenge of doing them all. And now we're getting ready to do a Journey show. So
Oh, perfect.
You know, I've kind of got my work cut out for me. These are all very difficult, you know, catalogs to sing, and
Oh, yeah.
I have to approach all of them a little bit differently. They're not all, you know, I can't just step in and try to sing U2 like I would Freddie Mercury. So, you know, they all have their own little quirks and their vocal placements. And Robert, you know, singing the Zeppelin stuff requires a little bit more of the rasp and the bluesy growl, whereas Freddie is so dynamic. He goes up into falsetto a lot, and, you know, comes back down and has kind of a more of a Broadway kind of a thing going on. So, it's great to be able to take on all these challenges and do them all.
Yeah, that's amazing, the range of your voice. Is there a special way that you train your voice or take care of it to be able to do all this?
Lots and lots of drugs. No, I'm just kidding. You know, as I get a little bit older, you know, it's just a constant reminder of how I have to kind of stay in shape and train. And you know, I used to just kind of walk in and do the show, but now I'm 45 and I'm at the age where I have to actually take a few more precautions now and stay in shape on the off days and, you know, work out a little bit and stuff. But, you know, as long as I don't do anything really stupid, it's not much of a problem. Nice.
Do you have anything, you know, special in your rider at the venue that you just have to have?
No, just a space to warm up and some bottled water.
Yeah. But you sound like you're pretty easy then.
Yeah, well, I suppose as time goes on, I'll get more and more of an old crotchety rock star attitude. I'll have to demand things. But no, I try to keep it simple.
Yeah. Well, okay, can you tell me a little bit about the video games? So you do vocals for video games like Guitar Hero?
I did a few of them. I was in Vegas at the time, and a mutual friend had referred me to this guy. He gave me a call, and he was responsible for putting together the tracks for the Guitar Hero 3 game. And as it turned out, he asked me to do a particular track, which was, I think the first one was he wanted me to do the Poison song Talk Dirty to Me. So he wanted me to try to sound like Bret Michaels of Poison. I'd never sung any of his material before that, and so I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. And as it turned out, I did so well that the makers of the game thought that it actually was Bret Michaels, and so that led to doing more tracks, and they had me sing some Scorpions and some Mountain, and I think I did some Black Crowes, and I did a few video game tracks, and that was a lot of fun. And it was also really fun to go online later when the game came out and watch videos of kids playing the game and hearing my voice on there, and then reading the comments and going, this guy sounds nothing like Bret Michaels.
Are you serious?
Well, you know, the internet is full of, you know, critics, so.
Nice trolls.
It was fun to sit back and watch the good and the bad comments come in.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's awesome. I never even realized it wasn't the actual singers, so that I learned something new. Definitely.
Yeah, back then they had to hire session musicians to do the work because they didn't have the licensing to grab the original tracks. But that changed after that game. I think they started getting more and more master tracks from the original artist because I think the popularity of the game was so intense that, I mean, like guys like, you know, the groups like AC/DC started saying, here, we'll let you use our tracks for a certain fee, and, you know, money kind of changes everything, so.
Oh, yeah. A lot of the classic rock songs that I know now are because of playing them on Guitar Hero. Is that sad?
Wow.
That's a generational thing, huh?
Yeah, okay.
You're like, hey, this is on Guitar Hero.
I won't ask your age, but I was going to say you must be about 22 then, huh?
No, I'm 30.
Are you really?
Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe I just didn't have
You're at the cusp of where some of this stuff is probably a decade or so behind your generation, so.
Oh, yeah. The first music I remember really getting into was, like, grunge, so I guess I'm pretty behind.
Well, that's about right. No, that's about the right for your age, yeah. Well, even me, I'm 45, and, you know, I was going to school in the 80s, and a lot of the stuff that I really like is from the 70s, so I'm I guess I was born about a decade late.
Yeah, I mean, would
For
you
the
ever
stuff that I like.
attempt some of this newer stuff?
What about it?
Would you ever attempt to do any of these newer stuff? Or are there any artists now that?
Who knows? Ask me in 25 years when they're
right.
classic.
I know nobody in particular comes to mind. Maybe somebody like Bruno Mars or something like that.
Bruno is great, and I'm sure at some point they'll consider Coldplay one of the classic bands of their day, and I don't know. I like a lot of the newer stuff, but I don't know. I wonder if it's going to have the staying power that the groups from my era do, and that could be just because I'm partial to my era, but I truly wonder if Bruno and the like will be played on classic rock stations then or whatever.
Well, yeah, and then like the Stones and U2, they're still selling out arenas, so they've definitely got the staying power.
There's something about that music in its staying power. I think there was something happening at that time. The planets were aligned a certain way, or because of the fact that we didn't have computers then and music was more honest when it was made. I think it has something to do with it. You didn't have pop TV shows like American Idol where there were these sort of overnight sensations. Everybody had to earn their place.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit harder go to become a celebrity then, and to make it. You really had to pay your dues. And I think now, while there's a lot of talented people, I don't think that they have the road time, behind them.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. That's a theory. And also with iTunes and the sort of quick access to music, you don't really have to come up with an album worth of. Back in the day, you had to produce a whole album of songs, and now it's like you can just get a hit on the radio and that's it. You're famous. Whereas you had to sort of think about a whole collection of songs as a piece of work back then, and you kind of had to sell albums. You had to have a whole album's worth of songs.
Right, especially to tour.
Well, and to tour, and the industry has changed a whole lot, and it's a weird time. On the one hand, it brings light, the home studio person. You can make a song on your computer at home and get it on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So the days of the record labels and those things like that have changed, but I don't know. We'll see. I have hope for the future, but in the meantime, I'm still kind of clinging to my generation, I guess.
And that's awesome. Yeah, you're doing an incredible job. Well, I can't wait to hear the show. It's going to be amazing.
You'll be there?
I hope so, yeah. It's going to be June 2nd and 3rd, the Skirmerhorn, 7:30 p.m., so hurry up and get your tickets. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Just looking forward to coming back. I was in Nashville with the Queen show, and we had 3 shows that were back-to-back, sold out, and it was a great time, and looking forward to coming back with the Zepp show.